Thanks so much for taking some time to speak with me, Congressman Massie. Wanted to ask you why you decided to bring this particular guest, Julian Assange's brother, to the State of the Union.
Yeah, this is Gabriel Shipton, and I'm very honored that he accepted my invitation to come to the State of the Union to hear the president address our country. One of the things I think that should be addressed is the Bill of Rights and freedom of speech and freedom of publishing. That's why I serve on the Judiciary Committee. But Gabriel has come to bring attention to Julian Assange's case, his brother, who's been unfairly prosecuted for many years and in prison right now, even without a conviction, for the crime. And I say crime, in air quotes, because it's not a crime to publish. For the crime of publishing actual facts that were inconvenient to our government. We've got a 200-plus year tradition of having freedom of speech and freedom of the press. And I think the Assange case is a very dangerous precedent on several levels. One, because it has a chilling effect on the media. There are people who may receive documents that they know would be in the public interest to publish, but they'll feel intimidated by this case. And then I think it's also a bad precedent because the United States is going to another country and plucking a citizen, not of the United States, out of that country and bringing them here to prosecute under our jurisdiction. What if China asserted their right to pluck one of us out of here and prosecute them under Chinese law? It's a horrible precedent, and it's a double standard.
And what is the message that you want the public, the Biden administration, Congress to take away from your attendance at the State of the Union?
Well, we want to highlight a bipartisan letter that was sent to the Biden administration last year that was led by Rep. Massie and Rep. McGovern from Massachusetts, and highlight the message in that, which is exactly what Thomas was saying, that this prosecution is unprecedented. It's a threat to a free press. It's a threat to First Amendment rights of all Americans, not only to say or to speak, but also to know what their governments are doing in their name with their dollars.
Do you get to talk to your brother often?
I went and saw him on the 23rd of February inside the prison in the United Kingdom, where he spent the last 5 years. His health is in a very delicate situation health-wise. It's been deteriorating quite significantly over the last 5 years. So we're very scared for him, hoping that he can keep fighting this extradition. And he's running out of options in the UK courts. He had his last appeal hearing just last week, and we're waiting on a decision from the UK courts, and they could decide to extradite him, and he wouldn't have any more avenues of appeal. So he could be in the United States very soon.
How are they treating him? Is his health deteriorating because of how he's being treated, or does he have a condition?
Yeah, he has several conditions, and the conditions that he's been detained in are very bad. This is Britain's hardest prison that he's in. It was actually built for the IRA, so it's not a nice place. It's not as bad as the prisons here, the prison system in the United States. He's able to have his two young children. He's got two young children, 4 and 5-year-old boys, my nephews. He's able to have them visit him, and he's able to talk to his family, which is his lifeline that's keeping him alive. But if he were to come here, that would all be cut off.
Did he catch something? Did he catch an actual disease, or is he just?
So the UN has found that he's suffering the effects of psychological torture, and that has worn down his body. He had a mini stroke, I think 2 years ago. He recently wasn't able to attend his own hearings because he was unwell. So it's this grinding him down. And I think that's part of this, endless process. I think the DOJ is almost washing this prosecution through the UK system in order to really suppress the reporting on it here in this country. They can establish this precedent that publishing is a crime, but not have the attention on it that it would if it was here in the United States.
And Congressman, the prosecution, I understand you want the Biden administration to drop the prosecution. Is there any other asks that you're trying to get in this area of Julian Assange?
Yeah, it's very clear. Just drop the prosecution. And, we're in an election year. And most Americans are on Julian Assange's side. I hear from constituents in Kentucky that they are concerned about this case of Julian Assange. And, whichever presidential candidate weighs in on this, I think stands to gain. In the meantime, there's a third-party candidate who's going to take votes from either of those candidates who has been in support of Julian Assange. So I think it's relevant tonight because we're talking about the State of the Union. I think it's relevant to Congress to have Gabriel come here because we have this bipartisan letter, Republicans and Democrats who've sent this, but it's also relevant because it's an election year here in the United States.
And that candidate, so the viewers know, is RFK Jr., correct?
RFK Jr., yes, who's taken the right position on this. It's not, by the way, it's not just the popular position, it's the right thing to do. And there's no damage politically to either side taking this up. And, it is true that Trump did not provide clemency to Julian Assange, and neither has Biden. But every time you change administrations, even when an administration wins a re-election, they change staff. And staff becomes policy. And I think there's a real opportunity here this year in November for things to change.